Fair enough.
Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours, and welcome to Edessa, the Dark Crusade, Season 2. This evening's scene takes place within Zengid's Wall, the newly anointed domain of the clan Salubri. This domain is actually incredibly vast, having basically been encompassing the entirety of Zengid's Wall and its outlying farm buildings. Go fuck yourself, Shayna. It is a huge construction site at the moment. Many tons of wood, lumber, and stone have been moved. Vast work crews during the day toil under the heat of the sun, but building is progressing in order to raise the hospital that will one day be built, a true monument to the edifice of good health and good governance. There is the clang and the clash of arms that can be heard as people make their way into the domain. You will see, as you enter, a table that has been set up clearly for tea. There is food, simple food, but plentiful food, that has been placed on the table along with the tea. You will also see, or rather, you will hear a rather interesting buzzing noise as you see large cylindrical hives. Those of you who are coming will see Famushi, or Anerael, who is currently in the process of sparring with a number of other Salubri. At the moment, he is fighting them probably 3-on-1. But I will, you may all do your intros. The Tuck, where's the Tuck? There.
The Tuck is currently tending to his bees. He has his beekeeper hat on, and at the current moment, he does not have his quarterstaff, and people would notice that he appears to be hobbling more than he normally would as he's tending to the bees.
Does he talk to the bees while he tends to them?
He swears at them profusely every time they sting him.
I was going to say, where's Lily? Lily!
Evie is probably just arriving. She is probably riding a horse, side saddle, because dress. And yes, she does have animal kin, so no, horse does not shy away from her. She would dismount and tie the horse up near water, and then head over to Famoshi.
Upon Evelyn's arrival, he will raise his hand, and the sparring will cease. That is enough for one day. Please, go and tend to yourselves. He will then turn, and he has come to... he offers you a bow of respect as you approach. His third eye will close as it does so, and when it does, it becomes nearly invisible to the naked eye because he had it open when he was sparring. But he will say, "It is a great pleasure for you to join us, Miss Evie." Actually, he would call her Evelyn. Yeah.
She would, shake her head as he bows and instead come over and hug him.
As discussed in previous scenes, the Salubri are a hugging clan.
And Evelyn is definitely a hugger.
Friar, it would appear as though we have guests.
Upon hearing that, it would be almost cut off as soon as you just hear the tongue just go, "Ah, you spooky bastard!" Oh, Evie! He comes over and he gives her a big hug.
She would gladly accept the hug.
Apologies.
Hello, Friar. How are you this evening?
I'm
Tending
well.
to the bees, I see.
Yes. They're being very angsty today. I never knew bees could be angsty.
Well, I suppose once they get to a certain point, they might be a little angsty. Who knows?
I mean, most of them should be dead by now. They should be thanking me.
Yes, I suppose so.
Madeline is walking up at this point. She looks at the three people. She seems to be taking in the surroundings, specifically the building getting constructed. When she walks closer, and she will just say, "Ah, good evening, all of you. Primogene." She bows.
You're welcome, sister. May we offer you some refreshment?
Maybe. I would not like to encroach, but if offered, I would welcome it.
He kind of denotes the table, which he will. He has this trick that if you ever notice blind people do, which is he's clearly paced everything out, so he knows exactly how many steps distant he is from his chair. So he basically he angles himself, clearly based on how the wind is blowing, so he can basically tell which way he's standing. And he walks to his chair. He kind of puts his hand out onto the chair, so he's feeling it in his hands. He knows where it is before he seats himself. And he says, "Please feel free to join us."
Evelyn, was it? Good to meet you again.
Yes, Lady Evelyn Lister.
It is good to see you. Here
She
to commemorate the
sit
construction.
next to Famoshi. Come, join us. Have some tea.
Thank you very much. She will also, before she sits down, she will introduce herself to the good friar. Hoping of not getting body slammed.
The friar would look to her and give her a...
I was going to say he would do it now. Where are my terrible manners? Sister Madeline of Clan Sombra, allow me to introduce Friar Tuck of Clan Salubri.
Ah, I did believe I had not seen you before. It's a very good pleasure.
I tend to spend a lot of time around here. Don't really go out that much.
You tend to your work.
My leg's been buggered back since my mortal life.
Why? One does not need to travel far to be productive and do one's work as one should.
I'm just incredibly lazy.
Somehow I doubt that. Ramushi and his clan, Anariel and his clan, well, they see many things, but lazy is not one of them.
We all pursue our paths with different speeds. Ultimately, moving quickly does not necessarily mean achieving one's goal faster.
Well
Perhaps you
said.
man with a waddle.
I remember when we had to ford the Yellow River and I had to carry you on my back, so yes.
I don't like rivers.
Hmm.
Madeline sits down.
For the record, I will point out that there does seem to be there's a weird kind of inner light or inner strength coming from Mushi that really wasn't there before. He kind of almost has this kind of beacon-ish, I describe it. I'm trying to think how one verbalize true faith, because it is very evident to vampires. But it's a new power, but it's very there. It's very oomph, if that makes sense. Daryl questioning, why is there a rat?
Oh, yes. There is a rat. As Famoshi probably would feel or even smell, and the minute you see it, notice there is a rat on the table, and it's kind of like pointing at the tea glass or poking at it. And it's not poking out his nose, it's poking it very evidently with his paws.
Never mind, Mushi's blind, so I'll wait for Evelyn to tell him this.
Anariel, dear, there is a rat on the table.
Get away from there, you filthy bugger!
Turns around.
No!
It
Bye!
actually turns to the friar, and it looks a bit it looks offended that you called it dirty, and it kind of points at the cup, and then looks at one of the empty cups and kind of gestures at it. Goes back to the teapot, back to the cups, back to the teapot, back to like it's gesture that it wants tea.
It's asking for tea, I do believe.
Moshi,
Well, I do not have animalism myself, but perhaps someone here does.
give me just a second. I have to. Which dice roll shall I put us in? It's entirely non sequitur to me.
Just, I don't. Just put it in one.
Okay. There we go. I'm gonna roll some dice. Give me just 2 seconds. Yes. Daryl, quick question. Famushi kind of he almost scents the air, because I always think it's really funny you can do this with the sense of smell rather than your eyesight. He has 6 successes on the all specs check. Is that mouse a ghoul?
It is not a ghoul, but when you
Is it
do
a-
look at it, it does radiate a power that seems of blood sorcery, but something it is not of the blood, but it is not a ghoul. It looks like it's, in comparison to other animals you've probably seen, it looks more alive, like a human soul, in comparison to an animal.
It's so. Hang on. From an out of character perspective, that's not your character in protein animal form, is it?
No, it is not.
Oh no, it's your familiar, your blood magic familiar. Yes.
Yes, it is.
There you go. Famushi raises an eyebrow very slowly, and he will put out his hands. He does that thing with blind people do, where he kind of touches the table, finds the kettle, takes the teacup in his hand, turns it over, and pours tea, a small measure of tea, into the cup.
When it feels that the tea is presented to him, the rat will look over to Famoshi and will just simply say, in very clear Arabic, "Thank you," and begins drinking from the tea.
Well, this new.
There's a kind of a. You know what? No, he can't tell. He just turns ever so slowly to you and he goes, "Did that mouse just speak?"
As I said, that is new. I have not seen this before. But yes,
Yes, it did.
My master taught me well.
think I'm just gonna go sit down.
And who
Your
might I say is, might I ask, is your master?
And a voice from a distance that many would recognize. That would be I.
Ah, Alcadir. Good to see you.
It's good to see everyone as well. Said Aleph doesn't like to be bottled up inside the bag all the time.
I have to ask you, have you grown so bored and or tired of our company that you found new friends? She looks to the rat, looks at you.
Aleph and I have actually been together for quite some time. He said he is a fruitful member of my, well, of my family, to be honest.
Why? Such wonders.
A talking
well.
rat will certainly take some getting used to.
And undead corpses walking around, well, that's normal.
To be fair, I've had over 100 years to get used to that.
I think that was my cue. So the undead corpse creepy lady is going to crush the party now. So Brigida will walk in. Good evening.
Kadir will bow to her.
Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb your gathering.
You are Brigida, yes? The Clan Cappadocian.
Yes, Lady Evelyn. Nice to see you here.
It's a pleasure to see you again.
Mushi's eyes, though unseeing, narrow.
At which point, Evelyn kind of reaches over and just kind of takes his hand.
Anyone's looking at him under aspects, some shit is happening.
I don't
The
have
touch
enough
out.
aspects to see.
You know what? Let's fucking do it.
Hooray!
Cause all the fucking aspects.
Is the tick
prior-
also spexing sing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Give us 2 seconds. We'll just do the aspects rolls and then we'll continue.
The rat is looking for your attention.
The Famushi blinks, or rather, he doesn't. But bear in mind, in order to get Famushi's attention, he's obviously blind. You actually have to give him a verbal cue, or you have to touch him or something.
Yes. I will address him.
That is 5 successes.
Holy shit.
Okay. He was really calm, but something about Brigitte has caused his emotions to change to an awful lot of anger and suspicion, and awful lot of anger and suspicion.
Oh, hell.
6 successes.
The exact same. Something about Brigitte has caused him to go from his normal kind of rather pleasant, kind of happy self, but he is now very angry and very suspicious.
And Evelyn just kind of tightens her hand in his.
He's not taking any action, like he's not overturning the table or anything melodramatic, but there's definitely something there.
Yeah, she's just holding his hand to, kind of help keep him calm.
So clueless. Primogen Fumoshi, I came to thank you for tending to my wounds the other night.
It was my duty. Though I will give advice. You should not throw yourself into harm's way without the confidence in your abilities to be in harm's way. He will turn and he will say, to those of you who don't know, we rooted out a stronghold of Herman's ilk. Unfortunately, only one of them, or sorry, a handful of them deigned to surrender. They were dominated to, unfortunately, fight to the death. It was dishonorable. There was no succor in that victory.
Well, to be fair, Primogen didn't expect that the point blank shot would be so well placed.
The eyebrow goes up as he says, you didn't expect someone standing at 15 paces away with an arrow tipped in liquid fire to be damaging.
He wasn't, he was right next to me. He wasn't 15 paces away.
Yes, but that's even worse.
It was point blank. It didn't make sense.
Makes perfect sense.
No, man. With a longbow. No.
Yeah, how many times have you shot an arrow? The closer the target, the better.
Yeah, the closer the target, the better for a bow and arrow. I've
No, not when the target is like at arm's length.
yeah, actually, it is that.
The amount of kinetic force the arrow has is not diminished via the distance traveled, so it'll skewer you.
And skewer you hard.
Mm-mm. But Famushi nods as he says, however, I am... He stops mid-sentence. You would sense he was going to say pleased that you are feeling better or something to that ilk. And she stops. He says, I see that you are better.
Yes, I have recovered. Thank you.
Good.
Hey,
Evelyn's
big
thumb
man.
is just kind of, gently stroking his hand.
What did you call him?
Yeah, the rat goes to the fire. Goes, hey, big man.
Tuck, you're being summoned.
By a rat.
Hello.
I smell something sweet in here. But give me some.
One moment. He hobbles off. He's going to go get some mead.
Oh dear.
Oh my god, drunk rat is best rat.
You didn't think when he hears sweet, he's going to jump to honey instead of mead? Nah, straight to the mead. Once he's retrieved the mead, he's gonna pour it into a cup and place it down for the rat, which he would then follow the line by, "Who's the spooky lady?"
This is Brigitte of Clan Cappadocian.
Ah, so extra spooky.
I don't believe I have met you or seen you.
Don't know how you've missed me. I'm quite big.
How may I address you then?
Oh, I was just saying hello.
Oh, Brigitte will kind of awkwardly look on the floor and be uncomfortable in the situation because there are people around.
If you want to join us now, Margot, would be a good time.
Yep.
Break the awkwardness.
Nelson.
The rat does not look pleased with the mead, but he does continue to drink it.
Oh dear.
He says,
Drunk rat.
it's funny.
That is
Oh,
a
you
very,
meant honey.
if I may say. He contemplates as his head bobs to the side. Master Alcadir, your friend is rather interesting.
Al-Qadir looks a little bit worried, looking at up drinking even the small sips of mead that he's doing right now. Because Arash is a very small thing.
It's not going to take much to get it drunk.
Not the proofing the Tuck gives, no.
The Tux just gonna go and get some actual honey upon realization that it meant honey and not mead. I clearly have a problem.
Or a solution to other people's problems.
Qadir will just simply kind of gesture at his little friend, and he kind of responds quickly. And when he begins to move, it sees itself kind of fall to its side as it lost its balance.
Okay.
Oh no, poor thing.
Seeing that, Qadir quickly moves to his friend and puts him back into the bag.
I have received a very interesting letter, Master Alcadir.
And Qadir will simply turn to Famoshi and say, I'm assuming your message came across then.
Yes. It is a letter that fills me with hope. It's terrible, isn't it? And I'm sure you'll agree, when two old friends lose their way and cannot remember when it was that they were friends.
Said our people have a large history, one of, I would say, overall positive relationship.
May I give you a bit of a history lesson? Something you may or might not know.
Well, it depends. I was trained to know many things about my people.
Out of curiosity, what's your clan lore?
Oh, it's 3.
Okay, that's not bad. Do you have anything that would do you have any skills on your sheet that would pertain to kindred history or nodism?
I have vampire lore up to 3. When it comes to not to that particular thing, no. It would be very passing information.
Okay, then what he's telling you could quite probably be something you don't know, because this is something very, very nodist heavy, and knowing the Book of Nod. But he says, in the second city, a very long time ago, it was Lord Salot, the founder of my clan, who convinced Cain that he should not be the one to be the judge when it should have been Hakim. And so it was, Cain created him the judge of our kind, not Salot.
He nods his head a bit. There's a lot of stories of our father. The one I was taught was more, let's say, violent compared to the others.
Blood is always blood.
Everyone will see that Madeline reacts to that. Like, she doesn't scuff or anything with a sound, but she just kind of sits back and seems a little bit uninterested. Kind of.
I do not need to bore you with history lessons if you find them dull, Lady Madeline.
I was
As
getting a bit
Master-
sleepy.
Well, as Alcadir said, there are so many stories.
I
I have
believe
heard quite a few myself.
I believe it's important to know where it is we come from, to know the steps that we'll take into tomorrow.
Indeed. But I also believe that one should know the correct version of what happened.
If we do not learn from the past, how will we learn to live in the future? Says Margot as she walks in. As, again, dressed in a beautiful dress, and her hair done beautifully.
Madeline would just look at Margot and she would just say, by trusting our own wisdom and hardening, tempering our own wisdom to carry us. And art not sought out by everyone, but always.
Wise words. And she looks at everyone, and then she sees so much she doesn't know, and her eyes goes big. Oh my! A new face to this city. And as she moves to Friar Tuck.
Hello there.
May I ask, who do I have the pleasure of speaking to?
How do you react if I said no?
She'll crook an eyebrow. Well, you can't say no. Yeah, you can.
He'd give a
Sorry,
he'd give a chuckle at seeing her reaction. I'm joking.
and she'll laugh. Well,
I'm
technically. Pleased to meet you. I'm Margot de Cornier of, well, Primogen of the Clan of the Roses.
Ah,
And she'll laugh. But,
do you do hugs?
well, yes, and she'll hug him. She'll hug him.
Hugs.
But yes. But, well, my question was whether I could ask. I had already asked. I had answered my own question. And she'll smile at him. You could have chosen not to answer that. And she'll chuckle.
I just find it funny to see how people react when I say no.
He has always had an odd sense of humor.
I thought it was hilarious.
Everyone has their own sense of humor, my dear.
Mine's better.
Well, as long as it doesn't come to as long as it doesn't come to the expense of other people and to harm other people, I do not judge people on that sense of humor. But my dear and fellow Primogen, how are you going?
I'm reasonable, thank you. He takes up an apple from the table, and interesting enough, despite the fact he's blind, he quite expertly peels it. He takes up a small knife, he starts to peel the apple. He cuts off a piece and he offers it to Evie. Like, apple?
She would gladly take the apple.
He cuts a piece off and he uses the knife to put it into his own mouth. And he says, It's an interesting conundrum that we face. Oh, a query, a point of interest to you all. I would be deeply indebted to you. All of you, as a matter of fact, if you would mind keeping your eye out for something for me.
Activate your specs.
Basically, he removes from around his neck a single, what looks to be a shard of metal. Actually, if any of you have Auspex on, both the Tuck and Evie do, it glows with golden light. Because it has true faith. He will say, there were a number of pieces of a sword that were destroyed when myself and Tabarus dueled atop Justinopolis Mount. the people, of course, believe that that was the conflict between two angelic beings. I am currently attempting to find the shattered remains of the sword so it can be remade. At the moment, I have roughly about half of it. But if any of you were to come across it in your travels, any of the remaining pieces, I would be very happy to pay boons in exchange for its safe return to me.
Where exactly did the fight take place?
On top of Justinopolis Mount. But I believe that they were taken by the people before it was the priesthood to collect the half that I currently possess.
What was it exactly?
Broken remains of a sword.
Okay.
As I said, it is a pet project of mine. I would be very grateful if anyone could yield me some aid in this matter.
I will do my best.
And you know I'll keep my eye out.
I will assist you if I can.
Yeah, Alkadir will he'll kind of focus on Famoshi when he brings that up, and we'll just simply state, well, how quickly do you want to find it?
As soon as possible.
Then I can find it probably by the end of this week.
All the shots.
If you would be so kind, as I said, I'd be more than happy to owe you a debt.
And he'll point at the shard that's around Famoshi's neck. So, I would need a piece to make it easy for me to find it.
Of course, I have several. This is just the one I'm currently wearing. I can provide you with one, though I will of course require it back along with the other shards that you find.
And he nods to that.
My goal is to have the sword reforged.
I would have to say, as he looks at the piece, something like this is a personal project, and it may be best for you to be involved when I gather the pieces.
I would be happy to be. When I say it is a personal project, that is both true and a lie. It is not just a personal project, I should clarify my statement. It is something that I intend to use in my conflict with, well, Mary the Black.
And you truly intend to face her?
I do.
On your own.
Hopefully with our help, but quite the thing.
If you will
Archie,
have
you
my
want
help.
to take distance.
If you will accept my help, the Thorn of the Rose will gladly protect you.
Ultimately, he kind of leans his head back on the back of his chair, and he says, "The fact of the matter remains that I believe that she will not face us by herself. There will be many denizens of many dark places that we will summon forth. So ultimately, yes, all will be required. But I have become more and more unnerved by things that I have seen in Odessa. I'm starting to understand the game that she is playing more ever since she made a public appearance at the party of the Lasombra, where she did so simply to mock us. Charming.
Her destruction has been delayed long enough.
Has it?
An entity of that nature does not deserve to exist in this world. I think we can both agree on that.
I would postulate a different point of view, Master Alkadir. I would ask, what creates a monster? Because I now understand the story of Mary the Black. It is a tragic tale.
Tragedy or not, she made her choice.
Did she?
Is there facts to say that she was coerced by a different source?
That would depend. Once again, I hope you will not mind a history lesson.
Imogen, I
please.
would like to ask about that since I was, it seems, affected during the ball, if that was the person you referred to.
Yes, that was her.
I know nothing of her apart from her behavior at the time, which made me really uneasy.
A very long time ago, in a city far distant from here, a place named Ebla, she was in love, or rather, the blood. Yes, that is more correct to say. She was given the blood of a great and sainted vampire, a student of my own master's teachings, in the former patriarch Michael of Constantinople, the man who thought of himself as an archangel made of stained glass. She was given his blood. She became his ghoul. And then he abandoned her. Now, love is a terrible thing when it is that you cannot help but feel it, when it is that it eats away at your nights, your days. And to be deprived of that love, it is like the flower that is deprived of the sun. In that place, hatred can grow and grow. And that is what happened. She turned to a darkness because she had lost what she truly valued, the one thing that she truly valued, or rather the blood of ancients, which is so potent it can bend empires to its will, convinced her that she needed. So, yes, she has erred. She's erred, and she will be corrected. She has delved into dark powers, and for that she will be punished. However, ultimately, there was once a woman where now a monster lurks. It is important to understand why the monster is born if you mean to combat it. I have been doing this a very long time. When you understand what the person was, their motives, they become easier to trap, easier to trick, and easier to track.
As I do not disagree. Do forgive me that I felt that you were wishing to give some type of feint of sympathy for this creature. All this really sounds to me is a blood bond that has gone poorly.
I have sympathy for the woman that she was, and I pray for her soul that she may find some semblance of redemption. That does not mean I will not end her for what she is now.
Then I wish you all the luck, and if you can purify her soul, then I wish you achieved so.
Only God can do that. But we will usher her into his presence, and she will be her judge.
Well, saving of souls seems to be, from my recollection, done by perhaps not God, but others.
There's a shrug. He says, "We are merely servants. But myself and the Tuck, Friar Tuck, he won't call you the Tuck. Myself and Friar Tuck have combated many evils together. The fact of the matter is, unless you have compassion in your heart, evil will take root there."
If I didn't have compassion in my heart, I believe evil would have taken me over a long time ago. I shall actually look down and she actually thinks back of a time where terrible things happened. Terrible things happened to her.
As I can empathize with the statement, I do believe there's a place for pure logic and instinct. It is best.
Quite true.
If it wasn't for my sire, I might have dwelled into that evil. But she picked me up, showed me that there was a way out. She was there to protect me.
Moshi pours tea for himself and Evelyn, and anyone else who wants tea.
I don't have eat food yet, so
Evelyn would sip her tea and lean against Momoshi.
Madeline will also drink, and she will just, after sitting there for a little bit of time, she'll just look to Fumoshi and she says, "So, the warlocks you slaughtered, I wonder, you speak of compassion, but I'm quite confident that you show no compassion to them."
On the contrary, Sister Madeline, every soul that I take, I remember in my prayers each evening, and I hope that they have found a better place. That is the compassion I offer them.
Hmm.
One should never take life unless one is willing and able to bear the burden that it is to take that life.
On that, the two of us are in complete agreement.
This is why I dislike the fact that Herman, who I thought was a man of honor, is using the arts of the mind to manipulate and force his own progeny to fight his battle for him. This is a dishonorable action.
indeed. Well, I say that I may have lost my charter if Herman had come himself when I wasn't here. But I do find the act of setting other people, other kindred, that from what I can hear, he didn't even had the love to teach about our society, about our powers. He didn't teach them anything. He just embraced them and sent them to attack us like cannon fodder. Truly. And yeah, she frowns, which getting angry is not something that Margot often does. Truly disgusting.
But
Yes.
ultimately they are the victims. Oh, sorry, continue.
Oh yeah, she will just say, "He is acting without wisdom, without design. He is blinded by power. That is a thing that can happen to those of the Ventru blood and others. But I do believe that they, once slighted, have a certain tendency to think like this."
Power is one of those things that many people, if they are given it, and then that power is taken away, they lust for it like
Indeed. And that lust is just amplified if the person in question is an Ventru of older blood.
As it is maybe safe to say that the Ventru are, let's say, more tempted compared to the others. Let's not deny the individual, not the person they come from. And he'll look over to Madeline and said, let's not forget where we all come from.
Hmm.
Herman decided to do something that he felt that was right at the time, and he has come to realization that his decision was poor. We must deal with it.
Have you never heard the saying, the road to hell was built on good intentions?
That it is.
He may think what he did. He may think, or even have thought. I don't know if he still thinks it. That what he did is right, that what he is doing is right. But if he just took a moment to think about it, to think of the harm he did, of the lives he wasted, he would realize that he is not on the right path. He is not finding the right solution.
Well, Margot, we can all live safely in the knowledge that you would never endanger anyone's lives.
Not if they do not endanger any. Well, I do not like to endanger anyone's life. I do what I
And you
can.
have never done so, Margot. And there is, everyone can tell by this point that there is something Madeline is alluding to that's, there's quite a bit of sarcasm in her voice. Let's just.
I have learned from my mistakes.
Oh,
I do what I can to protect the people around me. I have always done so.
Quite so. By the way, Margot, that reminds me. And Madeline will just, she has a satchel with her, and she produces a letter and a small jewelry box. She just says, "This reminds me. This is for you."
Thank
He
you.
produces, she just slides it over. A gift from my last trip where I spoke on the behalf of this city. It is from Prince Nada. I was said to give it to you.
Thank you.
Hey, Pete. Just a quick aura reading. 4 successes. How's Madeline feeling?
She's feeling intrigued. Like there's, like she is studying Margot fairly intently when she does this, and there's indeed anticipation or wondering. Like those are the main ones. Else she seems calm and a bit bored, perhaps. But those are like way down.
Okay.
You get like 5 colors or so. I did not know that you knew her.
I do not. It's strange that she would send me a gift.
Out of curiosity, which princedom is that person representing?
Malatia, I think it's called.
And they,
Malatia, yeah.
what? Hang on. What clan are they? Because I have them all memorized by clan.
She is clanless. One moment. I think she's Lasomber, but don't.
It's cool. But you know.
Well. Oh, by the way, some of you can perhaps rest easy. I got the prince to agree to take some of our quite overpopulated streets if they surrender. Take some of the bourgeois from here and give them a new home, so we will not need to execute those who are essentially blameless in their embrace and their nature of their embrace.
I have spoken also to representatives from both Antioch and Accra who are willing to take some of my own clan ilk from the city when it is that hopefully they will surrender. Already, several of them. He denotes some of the. You will notice that they're not sitting at the table where we are, but they're kind of doing their own little thing around the building site. So you'll notice he has around 8. He says, "These are the ones that I have taken under my wing personally, but there are still others elsewhere. but we will be sending them to my old friend Zarakathusa and to my brothers and sisters in Accra so that they may have their protection.
Good. It would be best to avoid needless slaughter.
Indeed.
Brigitte, how are you settling in Edessa?
I missed the second part of the sentence.
How are you settling in Edessa? She said.
Oh, Lady Margot. So far, I guess. I suppose normal if that is the case. It seems ever since I came here, my mind has been messed with and other things. Then there was an interesting raid that I went to.
You are enjoying some of the unique charms of our fair city, it seems.
I'm still looking for work to do here. There are people I have to speak to that I have yet to meet, but I think I'm settling in well.
Good. You have spoken with the Lady Astor?
Well, I no longer reside in her haven.
But you have met her.
Oh yes, of course, of course. She offered me hospitality when I arrived.
So you have your own haven now?
Yes, I have.
Well, very useful thing. And very necessary these nights, it seems. But hopefully we can focus on this situation with her. From Mushi, I really hope that you can use your abilities and send this creature away for good.
He seems to contemplate for a few moments. You see, he was cutting the skin off another apple. But as you say that, he stops and he contemplates and he says, "The problem is that this city is drenched in depravity." Said various different words. Ultimately, she has a place here because the city has at its heart a very dark place. It is inherently a dark place. So it is merely a matter of trying to bring light to the darkness.
At its heart, something in this city specifically. Physically?
He contemplates and he says, in a manner of speaking, yes. And in a manner of speaking, no. There are in medical terms, when you have a wound that is infected, you must cleanse the wound, oftentimes with fire, in order to see to it that the wound will close and heal properly. The problem is that this city has had an open wound for a very long time. There is so much pain, corruption, destitution, and disease that it is very easy for entities who harness those energies to work. And that is essentially what has been happening. Due to the people's...
I know of some of them.
Yes. But ultimately, the only weapon to counter that is hope, faith, and the concept that tomorrow will be brighter than today. So that is what I will be doing, or rather what we have been doing. Other than that, there are also many in the city who would give her succor. I am convinced that one of the noble families is in her sway, but I don't know which.
I have already found and dispatched of one nobleman involved in things way out of his control. But it is an entire noble house that is to blame. I do believe you will be much more attuned to such things.
I will meet with them, and we will see. But this corruption does go very deep, I sense. We shall see. There is also one thing that worries me.
Just the one?
Yes. Because I do not give in to worry as a person. I find that if one must worry, then one lacks clarity.
There is a difference between worrying and being cautious and significantly preparing oneself. But do go on.
His brow furrows as he puts down his knife and his apple. And he says, "Something's wrong with the Lady Irene, but I don't know what it is."
She did seem rather upset the evening that we spoke with the regent.
Manipulation time. Oh Lord. I need to roll something now.
Everyone gets to roll peony. On a side note,
Exactly.
And guess what? Evelyn has a perception specialty in empathetic.
On a side note, I choose to point out because it's actually important. Bishop has confirmed that yes, Auspex does lower the difficulty of this. Aha! Winning.
The token also has that specialty.
What are you rolling for?
Hang on. So Madeline has one,
That-
2, 3, 4, 3 successes.
Try it, bitch. That's 7 successes on the Peony.
What is that?
5 successes.
Perception and empathy. No, it's 7 because she has the empathetic. Oh, we both got 5.
I can try to do that too.
That does -1 diff for every point of Auspex we have.
You
Okay.
have to have the Auspex active, and you have to have declared you have it active.
I mean, I did.
Oh, this is for Aura thing.
No, it's just perception empathy to try and tell that Madeline is deceiving us.
I mean, when
Well,
when you
she's
said
trying to hide something, but
what difficulty is it?
difficulty 6, I think.
Yeah, it's difficulty 6 minus the levels of Auspex you have if you have Auspex active.
Because I mean, I said that
I
Mago
didn't
activated.
have it active, so I'll just go with standard.
I did say that Mago activated Auspex when he said to keep an eye out for something.
Okay, 3 successes.
So you don't get it, Brigitte.
And
you had the 4 successes
sorry.
from the manipulation subterfuge. So
there is definitely a
so that's diff 3. Oh shit.
There's definitely a look of concern, of worry when Irene is mentioned, and specifically in this context. And but Madeline doesn't say anything, comment on it, or anything. She just there's it's not a twitch, but there's definitely some sort of reaction to that.
When you openly informed the Prince of the City that there were goings on about Mary the Black, that, and I quote directly, you cannot divulge in the Prince's presence, then there is something that needs to be dealt with. I have taken the liberty of informing Prince Ulrich as to this matter, but I fear she may have become too close to this, and she is exceptionally young and naive.
What do you intend to do?
Find out
I
what
don't-
he knows, obviously.
I intend to do nothing on the matter personally. Prince Ulrich will see to it, and if it is something I need to be informed about to continue my hunt, then he will inform me, but it left me very much on edge. After all, he picks up his teacup and he takes a sip before he puts it back down. He says, I do not like to think of the concept that she may have been compromised.
That specifically, I do not think you need to be worried about.
Why do you say that?
Because I know Ulrich a very long time. I trust you to be very much an expert on the Inferno and those who are stupid enough to indulge in such things. Ulrich is just as gifted, I would think, in
However,
these matters. I believe that he would find out.
contemplate this, if you would be so kind.
Of course.
You have information that I desire, or I require you to do a service for me. I use the arts of the mind on you so that you will do the service, but not only that, that you will forget the service. I rewrite your memory so that it never was. At what point do you become compromised? Oftentimes, many of us can have taken actions that we ourselves cannot even remember doing. I have seen it many times. Fortunately, the thickness of my blood, I suppose you could say, and my mental trainings prevent me from succumbing to these conditions myself. These are the gifts provided to me by my founder, the founder of my order, Lord Samael. But not everyone is as lucky as this. People can have their memories rewritten. People can have their information taken from them. People can be manipulated in such a manner.
And we have no idea when it happens.
Quite correct. But saying openly in front of the Prince of a city that you cannot divulge information as it pertains in known infernalists in their presence, because, and I quote, you do not wish to discuss it in present company, the Prince being said company, it becomes deeply disconcerting.
It is indeed an unwise move to make.
Or she is not so subtly suggesting that the prince. Boy, I do not believe I need to finish that sentence.
The Prince is not compromised. If it helps, I have already checked.
I am aware, but that could be the insinuation.
Yes, and princes tend to take such insinuations very badly.
As they should.
Indeed. Considering Lady Irene has already spat in her face when she offered rather, I hesitate to use the word childishly, but that is the only verb I can think of to describe it, when it came to the resignation of her harpy's position, something that very much upset the Lord Seneschal. I do not think that she has much of a position of, how would I say, grounding to stand on with the prince.
Madeline has a smirk on her face, but she doesn't say anything. I have spoken many times about giving her lessons quite some time ago, but, well, my offer still stands. She has much to learn still. This is certain. As we all do.
But the Salubri will stand in order to do what we always do in this situation. We will bring this Infernalist into the light of day, one way or the other. I have been working on a possible solution to something. I may be able to destroy her tablets.
Hmm.
These tablets are obviously a key.
Very much so.
They possess a spiritual resonance that I believe, if they're gathered together, may unlock a very unpleasant door.
I do not believe any place that she wants to go or wants to bring is particularly healthy for any of the present company. No.
There was a village once outside of Jerusalem wherein they dug a great pit, a carnal pit that was filled with flesh and awful blood and bones. And with the right incantations, they chanted over it for 7 nights and 7 nights more. They unlocked a gateway. It took the most powerful of my clan to seal that gateway a very long time ago, and in doing so, he gave his life. I believe Mary the Black wishes to do something very much similar here in Edessa.
I would hate to think that it will take another life to stop her.
That is only if the pit is opened.
Then we
We
should
can stop her. I'm quite confident we can. It will not be easy, and it might have quite a few consequences, and some of us may not leave it. But it is perhaps one of the best ways to keep oneself alive, saving the lives of so many. Truly testing oneself, see if one is truly as strong in both body and mind to withstand such things. A question to contemplate for the individual, I suppose.
I suppose.
The nature of power is always complicated. She is powerful. However, I feel the nature of her power is her own undoing. We will see in time.
Forgive me, I need to ask. Do you know what her goals are? What she's trying to do here?
I thought I just said so.
I mean, yes, that is the means, but does she want to bring destruction or?
They were very dark names. names that are as old as the world itself, and older still, perhaps. That if you were to incant, if you were to assemble the blood, the bones, the flesh, and the viscera, if you were to sacrifice enough life, and you were to speak those names into the darkness, would answer.
So something like summoning.
His eyes kind of close. Yeah, his eyes close for a few moments. Once again, it doesn't really seem to make a difference to him because obviously he's blind, but he then opens his eyes again. He says, "Yes, I suppose that would be an apt analogy."
Hmm. It does remind me of something I saw once. A picture. Well, a painting, really. The city in flames. And a great beast.
Oh.
A great
Where
beast
did you
emerging
see
from
the
the
picture?
ground. Quite some time ago. Remember the individual that suddenly bid very, very high for a certain name at an auction? I do not know if you have heard. You have been away.
I have heard about the auction in Constantinople. I know of some of the items, for some of them were of interest to me, but I do not know that this name that you speak of, it wasn't on the list.
No, but a person bid for it, a small woman. She was there one night, quite a long time ago. The night when the plague started. Oh well, when certain things happened that instituted what we know now as the plague, but well, she was there and painted. Well, showed certain parts of the future, I suppose. One
At
was
that, because of her blush of health, she does have color in her face, and at that point, all of the color just drains from Evelyn's face.
it did show the picture of the former prince, caked in blood, as I believe. He did die a couple of months later. I hope that her paintings is only a possible future, and not indeed the future. That would see this city consumed by some great monster. But you did say before that did catch my attention. That something in this city is corrupt. I wonder if it is indeed something physically under this city.
Anything is possible. The city has a great magnet for pain.
Madeline smiles. She says, "Oh, I know."
Are you alright, Evelyn?
I'm fine. It's nothing. And that is total bullshit.
Do we need to roll? Is it like, no, it's bullshit?
I mean, she can try to manipulate you. She's actually not half bad at it.
I mean, do you roll? It's up to you.
Yeah,
She-
yeah, we're gonna roll it. We're gonna
she
see
still
how
has-
she does.
And she's going to. I'm going to use a willpower for this because she's like, my sweetie is not well. And so yeah, 1 willpower, and she still has the aspects activated.
Yeah, I'll roll for that. There.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
Nope.
Wait.
Oh
Oh
shit!
wait,
You can say-
wrong one.
Holy shit, man!
We're in dice in 1.
Yeah.
So I put in the wrong one.
No, Evelyn's fine. This is perfectly
Ten.
fine.
Yeah.
With a willpower. That's oh yeah. That's 6 successes.
Oh god.
Hey, just because you rolled it in the wrong dice roller.
I mean, it still count. It still counts as 3. The other one, either way. She's like,
She had 5 successes on her manipulation.
Oh, she had 5. I thought sorry, I thought it was the one above. There were like 2.
No. No, that was 5 successes on her manipulation subterfuge.
Oh damn. So yeah, no, leave it to.
What a liar.
I did roll it on the wrong one, so I'll leave it to other players to decide. Because the SD isn't here, is he?
Go with the first roll because you did roll it in a roll we can see. Like hashtag no free rolls.
Yeah, so thus far no one has been able to tell that she's completely bullshitting you.
Oh wait,
I'm amazed. that
actually,
we
I
haven't
need to
got
roll as well. I totally forgot. Sitting here and like 1, 2, 3, 4, and actually, I think my specialty would apply, so I have 5.
So they are tied.
Defender
Defender
win.
wins.
Defender wins, yeah.
Does he have a specialty that would apply here?
He doesn't. However, he is also blessed with the fact that he doesn't really care.
Well,
Well, that's not nice.
and you're falling in love with him.
borrow my empathetic specialty.
Well. Anyways. It seems that the mood here has been brought to unhappy thoughts.
Well, great trials and tribulations should not be seen as depressing, but an invitation to test oneself. At least, that is my way of looking positively at it. But if the company here wishes to change the topic, well, we can do so. For instance, let us return to the topic of the warlocks. Would this mean that none of them are present in the city? Or was it simply some of them were removed?
When you say warlocks, you mean what exactly?
Glentremere.
Huh. Usurpers.
Yes. I have heard referred to them as warlocks.
Sorry, just a little
Yeah.
Was it their communal place, or was it simply some that had been unwise enough to catch your gaze?
Sorry, can I get context for what she's asking? Sorry, I'm a little bit confused.
She is asking he said something about some of the Tremere had been killed. And she's asking, was this just some people that he found? Or just were they just
Oh, no. He said Ventru had been killed. Not Tremere. I haven't killed any Tremere yet.
okay, because I thought that was the case.
No.
I must have misheard that.
That's cool.
And she will ask,
Oh, no, trust me, if Famushi ever goes killing Tremere, there's going to be a sad day for the Tremere.
that's what I was thought. So I was actually a little curious why it wasn't a bigger deal, but it hasn't happened, so that's why.
I have called a. Oh, yes. I have called a gathering of the Primogen Council with a new referendum. It would seem as though our August, he contemplates his next word, colleague from Clan Tremere has diablerized someone within this city. And so I believe that they should stand for the trial. They should stand trial for their actions.
Anyone who has prospects,
Yes.
like almost pure red washes over Madeline.
Red is anger, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Mm.
It kind of just.
Is she angry that he is like? I'm trying to, because he will notice the anger. Is the fact that he is
anger? You would guess. I mean, again, you can't be sure, but this is probably like the confirmation that someone from Clan Tremere, or maybe just someone has committed diablerie, is apparently not something she is fond of, to say the very least. You get the sense that just the concept of it, just like, oh hell no.
So I have called a referendum of the Primogen Council. This individual, he can't. Oh, what out of character? What's her name?
Wait.
Fiona?
Flavia.
Flavia.
There we go.
This Flavia must face justice for their actions.
Yes. She must.
Apologies for being so bold, but I thought we said we were changing this to a happy topic.
Yes.
I
why
like
don't
you.
we-
Yeah, sure. Abaga turns to talk. You, I like you.
I like me too.
I am quite fond of him as well.
I mean, you could introduce them to your bees if
Yay.
you like.
Would you like to meet the bees?
As long as they don't sting me, I think we'll be fine.
They'll behave.
Well, animals and insects have been known to be more friendly towards me than others of our kind. I will be glad to meet them.
I know, but this is an angry bunch. Don't know why.
Then let's go
will
meet the
not-
bees.
Madeline will not go and see the bees. Oh God, not the bees! Oh my eyes, not the bees! Not sorry. Sorry.
For the record, all he stays seated in his seat at the table. He has his fingers pursed together, and he looks very, very serious insofar as he generally looks compared to his normal look. But yeah,
To lighten his mood, Evie would, lean down and just kiss him on the cheek.
you go and see the bees, my dear.
You shouldn't be so glum.
He smiles slightly, and he says, "It seems as though in this place, I don't know, perhaps it brings out the worst in us."
Do you
Then I
truly
will
I'm
mean
going to
that?
warn you, Queen Anne is a bit of a diva.
What did you say?
Queen Anne is a bit of a diva.
Then perhaps with an event, one not too far in the future, when more of our troubles will have been dealt with, I shall host an event. Perhaps, well, I will do everything in my possibility to make one that will make you smile, my dear Primogen. Let's go beat the bees. She'll smile.
Bees.
She will take the Tuck's arm as they walk over to see the bees.
Yeah, Margot takes the other arm. That's Frykak is walking with these two like App 5 girls.
I mean, he's at 4.
She's
to be
App
fair.
4 to be fair, yeah, true.
Is everyone going to the bees?
Nope.
No, Madeline and Anariel are staying behind.
Yeah, because I'm not interested in bees either.
Yeah,
Rude.
fuck
Oh
me.
boy. The two people that get along with Famoshi the least are staying behind.
Why do you think I stayed behind?
To attack him?
No.
To the bees.
Famoshi, feel free to have mead. You might need it.
So, Ramoshi, you say that this city brings out the worst in everyone. Do you truly believe this? Or is it simply just you contemplating?
I think that certain places have certain effects on people. I think that this city brings out negative aspects to those whom stand within its walls. That's why I believe that, well, I believe that certain entities walk abroad here more easily than perhaps they should.
Well, it is quite possible. I myself have at least met some of them.
But yes, go meet bees. I'm being too serious. I'm good. Meet bees.
As she takes the Tuck's arm, she would like grab Famoshi's hand. Come with us.
I'm quite fine here, my dear. Also, because Evan has to be okay to go to the bathroom.
That works.
I didn't hear that.
That was very quiet.
Yeah.
He had to go. He had a BRB to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Bees!
To the bees.
I empathize.
So we are at the bees.
You might want to keep your distance. You don't really have any of the gear. No, I'm sure they'll be friendly. They better be. I think I've had these bees for about... how long has it been? Six, maybe. Actually, it might be nearing a century.
Oh
Good
my!
lord, I'm old.
Quite the lifespan for bees.
Yeah. Which makes me wonder why they're so bloody angry all the time.
Angry old man. She'll say with a smile.
To be fair, they are from England. It's probably too hot down here.
Oh, the English are quite often unhappy.
I'm also English.
And you
Yeah,
are
but
a
you're
ray of
adorable.
sunshine.
Ah,
You are the ray of sunshine in the gloom that is the rest of the English people. I shall say with a bright smile.
You must not have many bright lights, at least in England.
I have not
Now
been to England many times.
Can't say I ever actually left Paris until we came here. Well, France, really.
Oh, you must see the world. There are many wonderful, breathtaking views to see.
China was fun.
There's many things that I have yet to do, so there is that.
I'm just looking something up real quick.
Okay.
I like to believe that that your kid is making the sound of the bees, and the bees are going.
They're special bees.
See, that's a buzzing. Oh well, that's a loud bee.
That's the angry one.
Okay, stop. I'm gonna seriously. I'll have to BRB.
To go BRB.
Yeah, I'll go BRP.
Good job.
Oh, thank you for the kiss. I appreciated that.
So, Evie, is this the furthest you've ever travelled from, well, Paris?
Yes, it is.
I think you would like China. Have you heard of fireworks?
No, I don't believe I have.
I've
Oh,
heard of
they're,
the term.
they're wonderful.
On a side note, Tuck, because you would know this, Fumoshi knows how to make fireworks.
Well, that's just reminded me of something. I forgot about that. You know what? I won't tell you about them. I've got a trick up my sleeve. You'll see.
Is that trick up your sleeve basically cajoling me until I make them?
Yes.
He says that.
Make the fireworks.
God, he says that from his chair. There's a soft sigh.
I mean, to be fair, he wants to show them to Evie, so.
Do you know how to make these fireworks?
Oh,
Yeah.
gods, no.
No, she said that as she turns to the Primogen.
He's still seated in his chair, a little bit off from the bees, but he'll say, "I do. It's the same for, well, Mistress Evie has seen me in combat. I use the same material on my weapons to make it so that they ignite on fire when I draw them."
I was wondering about that.
Don't
Because
spoil the surprise.
what Famushi essentially does from that character's perspective is he has phosphorus on his sword. So when he draws it, basically there's a flint in his scabbard. So when he draws it, there's a spark.
That's kind of ingenious.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you ever look at his sword, it's really cool. It's basically it's covered in it's covered in silver sigils. So because a lot of evil things are weakened to silver.
Let's say I'd rather not see his sword.
He's wearing it currently, but it's not drawn. But
To be more specific, I don't want to meet his sword.
he stands up at this point from his chair, and he removes his. He has a long kind of cane that he keeps in his belt generally, along with the sword. But he removes it, and he starts to tap his way over to the bees. Tap 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 tap.
Yes, because he didn't take his seeing eye Evie.
I mean, she's over there.
Well, she did, offer to walk with him, but no.
I mean, I had to go to the bathroom.
That's the thing that has to happen. So yeah, I get that.
I should think that the bees are rather your pride and joy.
Oh, definitely.
You have what,
It
like
would be
3?
for a while.
You have 3 hives, I think, don't you?
Yep. I remember when I first worked with bees. Bees didn't like me. I learned how to deal with them through trial and error. Primarily error.
Yes. You recall how I said Do you recall how I mentioned I had to carry the tuck across the Yellow River on my back? I then had to carry 3 beehives across the Yellow River on my back because he wouldn't shut up. Followed by a mule.
Yeah, Bugger's dropping.
Oh, Barnabas.
I'm sorry, but bees aren't very good at swimming.
No, that's why they fly, my dear.
I mean, I choose to point out Barnabas he's just lazy as sin.
He takes after his master.
So you did get to send your ass from here to China and back.
I know.
I'm assuming that you use the honey that they produce to make the mead that I've seen you drinking.
Of course. I make the best mead. Everywhere I go, they make awful mead. It's only me who knows how to do the good stuff.
Where did you learn? Who did you learn
Wouldn't have
from?
anything to compare it to.
The monastery I was a part of did lots of stuff. They also made wine. I wasn't good at making wine. Don't like grapes.
You'll notice that Madeline just is quite fast over to you, and as Briartuck, and she just... I can't help but wonder, where was this monastery?
Have you heard of a place called Nottingham?
No, I do not believe so. England?
Yes, in England.
Ah,
Old place, very nice.
I see. Well, it's good to see you, that you are away from such a place. Such a colorful individual should not be imprisoned.
I'll tell you what, guys, at this point, it's probably a good time to end the scene. We're going for like nearly 2 hours, so
Oh shit.
I'm actually relatively tired. So, with that, thank you guys for playing. Thank you guys for watching. This is my little scene in the desert, the Dark Crusade, Season 2. I Boop and Evie.